You're making a big mistake. As a matter of fact, you're making a big mistake. Big and very bad mistake. I need to speak to my attorney right now. Get me that phone call right now. Do you know who you're messing with? Do you know who I really am? Get me out of here. You can't do this. This is illegal. You know the law. Get me out of here. I need to be out of here.
Taking the time to sit and talk to us about your husband. I know that this is very difficult. You love your husband, and yet we're asking you, we subpoenaed you to come here and tell us a little bit about his behavior in relations to the Epson Technologies training seminars, or we call them retreats, because we believe there's a strong biblical concept or message that's being conveyed to all the people that are there. Can you tell me a little bit about your husband, a little before he was employed and now?
Yes, this is very difficult for me because we're very private. As you know, we are both Muslim. I was raised in the Muslim faith. All of my 9 children are Muslim as well. And he's a great father and a great husband. But lately, he's changed quite a bit, and I'm concerned about that.
In what way? What kind of change?
I notice he has private time, and I've been seeing him read a Bible, and we're Muslim. And that raises much concern for me. He is talking to our children very differently. He is approaching me very differently.
What about, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I noticed that you're wearing a cross.
Yes, he brought this home not too long ago and said that he wanted me to wear it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here, because I don't understand. And I was wondering if maybe you could even explain what's going on at these retreats. We have a very deep faith, deep Muslim faith, and he's changing right before my eyes, and I don't know what to do.
Can't you talk to him? Does his supervisor call him?
Yes, people call him from work, and I notice that he takes the Bible with him when he goes to talk to them, and when he comes home, it's very difficult. It's been a dramatic change in him, just a very dramatic change. He wants me to wear this cross, and he wants our children to go to church.
Now, has he changed abusively towards you? Has he been very forceful in terms of going to church?
He hasn't been abusive at all, no. But I can see the change, and yes, he wants me to go with the children to church.
We just noticed through some of the materials that he's been writing up and giving to his supervisor for review, had a lot of biblical passages in there. In one situation, he was even mentioning how if no one converts according to what Epson Technologies believe in, then they're going to go to hell. Does he convey that at home? Does he kind of push that point?
He has not expressed that to me, but in a way, he's been a little uncommunicative with me, and I'm sure he is probably tied with his feelings right now, since he's been reading the Bible, and I've been deep in my faith with the Muslim faith with him, so he's probably tied about that. But I'm just at a loss. I don't know what to do.
I know, and that's why we want to bring justice to all this. One of the things that we discovered that your husband has some type of connection with is the Kentucky bombing. We have actual testimony from other individuals stating that your husband played a key role in making sure that there was some type of strategic plan behind the Kentucky bombing, meaning providing the the EDS explosives that were used for the Kentucky bombing. Did you find anything that's bizarre at your home that could tie to any type of explosives?
No.
Any type of documentation that your husband put together?
No, I can't believe you're telling me this. No, not at all.
One of the things that we found was something written in Arabic. Do you Muslims practice?
Yes.
Okay. That was one of the things, and based off our findings, he's the only Muslim at Epson Technologies. So I just want you to be aware of that he's also under investigation in that regard. But how do you feel? Do you feel frustrated What is going through your mind, Mrs. Muhammad?
Oh, I feel very frustrated, and now I'm shocked at this news that you're telling me, and I'm not really sure how to respond, and I'm not really sure even how to talk to him about it. And, my kids are going to suffer from this because we are trying to raise him in the Muslim faith, and now he is changing everything.
Okay.
And it's really rough on the marriage, and it's rough on the kids.
And we understand that he left a couple of days ago.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
He's not in the home.
I know. And I know that that has added more tension between you and your husband. Do you think that has anything to do with the teachings that he's standing by?
I believe so, because before that, he was fine. Before he started going to these special meetings, he was fine. There was no talk of Christianity. There was no talk of the Bible. I can't believe he's involved with this.
I'm sorry. We'll take a break. Thank you.
I heard one of our installation technicians at Epson, Jack Jameson, during a web conference call, he was discussing our stable electron disruptor. This is a very sensitive device we manufacture exclusively for the military. And he was discussing it, and I heard him say, I don't know how I could get my hands on one.
One day he came home, and me and my mom were asleep, and then the next morning it was Sunday, and he came busting into the room, and he said, we're going to church.
What? Okay, I know. He said we're going to church? Did you want to go to church?
No.
But he made you go to church? What kind of things, if you can remember way back, what kind of things did your father do at these retreats? Just any type of biblical things happening? Maybe the Bible was being passed around, they were quoting things.
He keeps a Bible in his sock drawer.
He does? Does he carry that Bible around in the household? And he forces you guys to memorize passages, verses?
No.
What about at work? I know a couple of times you've said in our previous conversations that we're not taping now, that weren't taped before rather, that your father would bring that Bible to work on occasions.
Basically, we never used to go to church, and ever since they came back from that trip, they've been acting like just Christian.
Christian-like, did you say that? Wow. Are you upset about this?
Yes.
Are you mad at your daddy for making you go to church and forcing that Bible on you? And you can't have any other opinion except church is the only way to go. And what about your mom? How is she feeling about this?
Upset because I'm trying to sleep to get some energy for school the next day, and I keep hearing yelling in the next room where their bedroom is.
Really?
And they keep having arguments about this. My mom makes my father sleep on the sofa because of this.
And that must put a lot of tension in the household, huh? Are you okay? Are you sure you don't want a donut? Okay. We're going to take a break, okay?
Freezing. Here, Anna. Can I put my coat on? Put your coat on. Thank you. Oh, it's so cold in here. Mr. Epson, it would appear that your training programs incorporates biblical passages and concepts. Would you care to explain that, please?
I have always been fascinated by the Bible and the discipline of the Bible. You see, the Bible has almost an answer to every question in life. So we try to incorporate that in our company.
So you would say that the Bible is the best form of finding all of life's answers. So anyone who abides by that Bible would be better off. So, Mr. Epson, would you say that conversion is to be preferred? Is that what you're saying?
Objection, Your Honor. Federal prosecutor is inserting the concept of conversion when it hasn't even been presented in this trial yet.
Charlie, do you work for Epson Technologies?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm the maintenance director.
Okay. Do you work for SIS as an undercover agent?
I work for SIS.
Okay. As an undercover agent?
I am an
Okay.
undercover agent.
Do you have access to files, historical information regarding the company?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I set all the cameras up.
You set cameras up?
I set the cameras up and I do the maintenance work.
Wow.
I observe the files, put them together. I stockpile things.
Okay, so you work closely with Mr. Peter Epson?
Definitely I do.
Okay. With regards to Peter Epson, were you able to find information regarding retreats that he's been holding in the past?
A few.
Okay, a few.
A few.
Were they specific enough to talk about what kind of retreats, like religious retreats? What kind of retreats were you able to confirm?
Well, in my capacity, I wouldn't give you direct details, but I want to just let you know that I really do have that knowledge.
Okay. Have you caught on several occasions through your surveillance cameras, through reading the files that you've been able to come across, that Peter Epson has forced many of his employees, and in fact has fired many of his employees for not going to these retreats?
I have specific knowledge pertaining to where that is concerned, which is very much confidential at this moment to really expose.
And I appreciate you. Mr. Peter Epson is a Christian man?
Definitely is.
Okay, thank you.
He is.
Clearly, there's videotaped testimony against you and your employees about these religious services, which I personally call them retreats, showing that you are clearly directly impacting the lives and religious beliefs of your employees. Can you explain that, Mr. Epson?
Can you
Answer the question!
Objection.
Freezing, and I don't have time waiting for him to respond.
You will refrain yourself. This is my court, and you will not have charge over it. Is that clear, Miss Grant?
Yes, Your
Your Honor, she's not answering the question.
You're not giving him a chance to answer.
Mr. Merritt,
Yes.
you have a problem there.
I'm sorry, I will just make sure that it's
Come up here. Mr. Merritt! Go!
Move!
You go sit down.
Sit down!
And if you don't contain yourself, you will be taken out and shot. Really shot.
Sit down, counselor.
Is this all necessary?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much.
Mr. Merrill, do you love your life? Yes. Well, you better act like it, because I don't care about your life.
What is, bothering me a lot here today is that we at Epson Technology, we have also a printing outfit. We print Bibles, not only Bibles, cookbooks. We send it all over the United States of America and all over the country, all over the world. Why isn't this attorney mentioning anything about our cookbooks and other handouts that we print? I can see clearly that this is nothing more than a witch hunt,
Mr. Epson, are we looking for a witch? I didn't know you were practicing witchcraft.
Objection, Your Honor.
Isn't that...
This outburst.
I apologize for anyone who's practicing witchcraft.
Your Honor, this is nothing more than just an act of someone trying to destroy my company, all what I have built for all these years. What more should I say, or what can I say to you, Your Honor, and to the attorney, that I am not a Christian?
You are a Christian, because you've clearly shown that in the video testimony, and we won't even go to that extent. I have some documentation that you had put together. It was an essay to the Director of Corporate Training, and I'll read what it says, Mr. Epson. In regard to enemies of the excess information technologies, it is our policy to destroy them, but rather a corporate policy shall be one of turning the other cheek. I, in doing so, can gain understanding of why we are viewed as an enemy. If an enemy...
Federal attorney are two things. One, good corporate policy, which our company is founded upon, and two, again returning to the fact, which I alluded to at the beginning of my statements, that is the foundation of their case, that she is again asserting that he is a Christian. Regardless of whether, thank you, Your Honors, regardless of whether he believes he is a Christian or not, their entire case lies upon the fact of whether or not he is a Christian. Christianity is not on trial here. Whether or not he is guilty of committing seditious and treasonous acts is. If the federal prosecutor continues to push along the line of whether or not this man is a Christian, their case has been dissolved.
Good evening. WNEW News time is 9 o'clock. Tomorrow will be hazy, hot, and very humid. Detailed weather as always at 1:15. Top story is now. Unnamed sources at the Pentagon say that they are investigating the use of a handheld nuclear device. Sources say that links have been made once again to the missing founder of Epson Technologies. It has been widely speculated that Peter Epson is behind an international terrorist group that opposes the technological development of third world countries by the United States. Though reports are sketchy, sources say that 10 days ago in Ethiopia, an 80-square-mile area was made uninhabitable by what analysts are calling an unscheduled discharge of an unauthorized nuclear device. Though no links to Peter Epson's terrorist group have yet been made, the company once headed by Peter Epson manufactured the explosive device. Cause for concern? Full story online at www.jstan1.net/peterepson.html. In other news, international outrage continues over